Sandi Nieves was sentenced to death for murdering her 4 daughters, and then setting their home ablaze, on July 1, 1998. Jaqlene Marie Folden, 5, Kristl Dawn Folden, 7, Rashel Holly Nieves, 11, and Nikolet Amber Nieves, 12, were clad in their pajamas when they were found dead in sleeping bags in the kitchen. The woman's 14-year-old son, David, was briefly hospitalized for smoke inhalation. Nieves killed her children to prevent their fathers from getting custody. The 2 fathers are Dave Folden, who had 2 children with Sandi, and Fernando Nieves, who had 3. Santa Clarita, California, 1998. 34-year-old Sandi Nieves was financially desperate and angry at the man in her life. A boyfriend had just left her, and she was engaged in a child support battle with an ex-husband. On the night of June 30th, Nieves told her 5 children to sleep in the kitchen, where she joined them. She then poured gasoline on the carpet and set it afire. In testimony against his mother, David said the children woke gagging from smoke, but Nieves ordered them to remain where they were. Today, David Nieves lives with his father, Fernando, who said the boy refuses all contact with his mother, and throws in the trash the mail he receives from jail. On trial, Nieves testified in her own defense, saying she had a flashback of holding a lighter in her hand, but otherwise had no idea what happened. Wow! A jury recommended the death penalty, and on October 6, 2000, Kristl Dawn Nieves was sentenced to death. Janeen Snyder and accomplice Michael Thornton were convicted of kidnapping, torturing, sexually abusing and killing 16-year-old Michelle Curran on April 17, 2001. Michelle Curran was kidnapped from her Las Vegas neighborhood in late March 2001. 2 weeks later, her nude body was discovered inside a horse trailer in Rubidoux. She had been tied up, sexually assaulted and shot in the head. Curran's last moments were especially brutal. She was tied to rafters by both her hands and her feet, and violated. Ultimately, Snyder approached Curran, put the gun to her forehead, and pulled the trigger. But that was only one of her crimes. Snyder was a friend of Thornton's daughter and moved in with them, after having problems with her own family. She was using drugs and was working as a prostitute. Easily manipulated, Snyder would befriend girls and take them to motels or residences, to meet Thornton. At least 2 teen girls were held against their will, as Thornton and Snyder fed them a steady diet of methamphetamine, and sexually abused them. At Snyder's trial, 2 other teenage girls testified of how Snyder lured them to a hotel where Thornton raped them. Snyder also confessed to killing a 14-year-old girl who had been missing for over 5 years. Michael Forrest Thornton was sentenced to death and admitted into San Quentin prison on September 13, 2006. A week earlier, Janeen Marie Snyder had already been sentenced to death. With Sandi Nieves, and 18 other female inmates, she awaits execution by lethal injection, at Central California Women's Facility, in Chowchilla.